Strong gains last year and a good start for 2011 on the market yesterday. What are some of the factors that are going to be driving equity prices this year, though?
Well, at the moment, supply is still thin, so we are still watching to see how demand is going and supply is going to go towards the end of the week. However, we do expect that with the third quarter growth of 6.1 and banks expected to begin to announce their financial reports for 2011 in the next month or so, then we expect to see the market or investors begin to take positions as we go forward, and therefore we do expect a very busy January and February.
Because we had a number of companies raising capital in 2010, including among those Kenya Commercial Bank, TPS East Africa, Safaricom also raising cash through a bond, Kenya Power and Lighting. Would you expect that trend to continue as we enter the new year?
Well, yes, most of them were largely rights issues, meaning that now we are seeing companies coming back to the equities side of the market to raise capital, apart from Safaricom, of course, which went the fixed income way. So we do expect that as the equities market continues to show robust growth, then we do expect more companies to begin to opt for the equities market as a channel for raising capital, as opposed to what we saw in 2008, 2009, where most companies went for corporate bonds rather than for raising capital in equity. Now, what we do expect is also to see more companies come onto the market in 2011. I think there's quite a few companies which are lined up for either listing or for capital raising by the Privatization Commission of Kenya, and I believe that we should see some companies begin to take that up this year.
Well, financials really led the charge last year with their gains. Would you expect other sectors to follow now that financials have had such a strong run? Which sectors would you expect to start catching up there?
Well, mostly the industrial sector, because we have the cement and most of the manufacturers in that area, and those will tend to have been the ones who borrowed a lot in order to be able to invest. We still have a very cyclical agricultural sector, so that one is usually not easy to call, but I also expect that the services sector will also see quite a bit of growth as we go forward. So I think by the time we reach the half year, we should see a lot of, especially the cement companies, for example, the manufacturing companies like Mumias do quite well towards the middle of the year.
Well, a number of those cement companies and also the financial companies have their eye on southern Sudan. We are having a referendum coming up in Sudan for secession from the country, that we could see southern Sudan split off from Sudan. Why the big focus on southern Sudan from Kenyan companies? What does that country give as an opportunity to investors?
Well, Kenya has had a very big role to play in the arbitration between Southern and Northern Sudan in the past, and I believe that most companies see that as the new frontier. I believe past the East Africa community, Southern Sudan is the one that is opening up. There is also, of course, the oil revenue that I'm sure Kenya is looking to tap into as well. And I believe that with this new economy, most companies are seeing that that actually offers them a huge opportunity for growth going forward. And so most companies are eyeing that as the new frontier, since Southern Sudan needs a lot of investment, both in infrastructure, both in investment. So there'll be a lot of need for borrowing, which means the financials, as well as some of the more heavy industrial companies like cement will definitely be making a killing out there.
Well, Kenya itself goes into elections at the end of next year. What sorts of companies would you expect this year to perhaps benefit in the run-up to the election year?
Well, I think that usually in an election year, the companies that tend to do very well are those that are in media. So we are talking about Scan Group, we are talking about Nation Media and Standard Group. I believe that there'll be a flurry in terms of advertisement. Kenyans will want to know what's happening. The politicians will want their voices heard. And I believe that that is where most of the focus is going to go towards the end of 2011 and the beginning of 2012.